should be recording now. Alright guys and girls, welcome back. It is the 8th today. It's Thursday, 8th of February 2018. I'm doing the Eastenders episode for Friday the 2nd of February 2018. So this video is being done right now, so I'm 3 episodes behind. Tonight's episode will be the 4th episode, which I'll be behind, but I'm going to try and get this one out as soon as I can, hopefully by the 8th today of February 2018, because it takes about 40 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour just for me to upload it, because I'm doing in bigger sizes and I'm using OBS, which actually loads the amount extra. Basically it gives you a better quality and stuff is better, so you're using more higher bit rate than usual. Alright, so we've got these little pictures here which I'm using OBS for, because that's where I can move all this around. Right, so let me just put up the sound quality a bit. It is 12:32 now, coming into the afternoon, so dinner time I would say, actually, more like dinner time. Right, so it starts here with the intro of EastEnders coming into it. Watching this on Daily Motion. Right, so it starts off after the intro of Mel turning up. She's in the flat or house or wherever she's living at the moment. I think it's Jack's place she wanted to buy anyway. She wanted to put a deposit down on, so she wants to live there. I don't know if that's actually got to look into the scene set, but she's talking to Ciara. That one from Ireland. It's supposed to be the Maguire. I think she's supposed to, Mel's supposed to be married to her brother-in-law or something. I think it was, wasn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be married to her brother-in-law. So I don't know who actually that other bloke is. Technically, that other Maguire bloke, Aidan. Who's he? And why is he linked to this other girl? Unless she actually is married to Aidan, that Ciara. Maybe that's her brother. Maybe Aidan and Ciara are brother and sister.
Could be.
Right, so Ciara's phoning out. She wants her money. She wants to know where her money is. And she said she's got a hole in her handbag, apparently. Or is it? Let's have a look. Alright, hang on. She says some of it went on her plane ticket, and the rest of it fell out through a hole in her handbag. That's a nice one, isn't it? And then she said, oh, she said something about the joke. She said, oh, this is not a joke. And then she says she's working on it and all that to get the money. But she says she wants a name. Oh, Ciara wants a name. Mel thinks it's actually Phil. But Mel says she has to be patient because she's trying to find out from the other day's episode. And she says she wants something concrete that she can use to find out who it is. Now she's just hung up on her. On Mel. Now we've got Mel looking out through the window. I think she's gunning for Louise because she knows she's the easiest target. And that she could probably use her to do her bidding for. And then we've got Sharon and Phil now saying something about getting the money off Vincent. And now she's saying to Phil, what happens if you can't get the money and it's no one's got it and it's vanished and disappeared? saying the money could be halfway across the world. And then Aidan doesn't get his money. He'll be after the next big thing, which is revenge. Now she says, should she be worried at all? Do they need to go away with Dennis? But Phil knows that Sharon's not involved, apparently, in this episode. He'll be after Ben. And then she's like saying, oh, where's Phil going to be looking and stuff. But he said he don't know yet. He said he'll call her about it. He said it's his mess. And he said, here, sort it out. Now he gives her a little peck on the cheek. Now it's back to Mr. Masood now. And his auntie. And she says she wants her own milk. Now we've got that little Daisy sitting at the table having breakfast. And saying, Mr. Masood saying that his auntie's not actually looking at him. She's a bit disgusted with him and all that. Because he wanted her to make the samosas. But he was giving them to Robbie and all that the day before. Basically, she thought she was making them for Mr. Masood's lady friend. Oh, and now apparently the uncle said he should be going out, agreeing to meet with this other woman who they're going to start doing arrangements and all that. Sort of like an arranged marriage, but... And he said, oh, she's got a great woman lined up for Mr. Masood. He said it's only a little date, he said. And then he said then she would have forgotten all about the samosas incident. He said it's a small little price to pay for a little bit of peace from his auntie. That's blackmailing him, really. Now we've got Mel just come into the cafe, Kath's cafe, and just saw Louise and said, oh, she's turned out to be a little supermodel and all that. Or when did she turn out to be a little supermodel? Now she wants to buy her breakfast. And now she looks ecstatic to see her. To see Mel. Now she's saying she's got school and that she would and that go to school. She wants to go to school and all that to do all her education for that day. But Mel wants to try and get her off. And now she's asking, Louise what her school teacher is so she can say to her that she's ill and all that and she's not too well. Saying she's got a nasty stomach bug and she don't want it spreading around. She's trying to get her into trouble. Now Mel's got a little smirk on her face. Oh, now we've got back to Patrick now. And Ted. In the allotments. Doing all the digging and stuff. Well, I wouldn't say digging. Just going into the shed for a chit chat. Oh. And now we've got that girl waiting, reading the book. Oh, Bernadette sitting there. She wants to do all the work and stuff. She's very ecstatic to do some work and all that for Ted and Patrick. And then basically said, because she wants him, well, Ted to teach her how to play chess. And then she said, oh, afterwards, and then what to do afterwards. And then he said, well, we'll have to see, he said, and then she starts smiling. Because really she wants Ted to teach her how to do the chess and all that, play it. Oh, little adverts for a minute. Right. As soon as this is done, I usually upload it, so it usually takes a little bit to upload. It's 12:41 now. Alright, so Bernadette's outside doing all the digging and all of that, and cleaning up the allotments. Oh, I love the actual. I tell you what, guys and girls, I've noticed in the Eastenders with the cameras, their like their sharpness on the cameras on their lenses with the bokeh at the background just looks fantastic, where they blur out the background and they have just the main subject, so you can tell the actual camera lenses are really just focused on that one particular subject, and they actually want you to look at that subject because they know basically they're more focused on it. So it's brilliant. Love the camera angles on that. Now we're back to Jay in the funeral home. I was wondering if the funeral people, directors or whatever, the ones behind it, the, what do you call it, the tax man. Apparently he's behind on his taxes or something, and he's hoping that they don't get in touch with the bloke who actually previously gave him the funeral home to Billy. And he's wondering if they gave him a bell or something. The taxmans gave him the bell. What's his name? That one. The one that owns the funeral home. I forgot. He used to own it. Not Billy, but the one before. What's his name?
Les.
Oh, Les. Is it Les? Yeah, I think it is Les. And then you've got his wife and all that, haven't you? Yeah, Les, that's one. And he said, oh, he's coming over next week, apparently. And he says that before he gets arrested for tax evasion, because basically he hasn't been keeping up to date with his taxes or something in the funeral home. And that's what OJ said to Billy, and he said, oh, you have to be cynical like that. And old Phil's coming and he's told him to make himself scarce to Billy, and he said, he goes, this is my office, he goes, because they've been doing all the dodgy heist in there, so they've been using it as a sort of a cover operations. And now Phil wants, Jay wants to know if Ben's been getting in touch with him. He says, come on, he said, he's got to be texting you. He says, come on, mate, he goes. Oh, he's looking on his phone now. And he said, now you, because Jay, he's took the phone off Jay, and he said, Jay's said back to him, he's saying, you can give me that back as well. And old Phil said, oi, he goes, oi. And he goes, Jay goes back and goes, what? And he goes, I thought you were supposed to be friends with each other. He's like fat brothers, he said. But OJ said, oh, he said, how do you know he just doesn't want to just get away and stuff and get away from everyone? He said, finally got a shot of Phil and all that. Now they're having a little argument. And OJ's like saying, oh, you're going to hit me? He says, go on then. Oh, Phil literally licking his lips and stuff. He's having a lick of his lips then. And then old Billy said, oh, it's not just you. He said he's just got the hump with everybody today, he says. Oh, that OJ has. Oh, and now it's back into Robbie now. And Mr. Masood's auntie, and his auntie's just said to Robbie, oh, so you're my son's mystery woman then? And Robbie said, oh, you're a very funny lady. In a sarcastic thing. And Mr. Masood's coming along now. He's got his arm around him and stuff. And he said to his auntie then, he said, I've done a terrible thing. He said, I've given it a lot of thought. And he said she's absolutely right. He does need someone in his life. And now he's got his arm around Robbie, and Robbie thinks that, oh, Mr. Masood's coming after him, wants him as a boyfriend. He says someone to stand by his side and put him in the right direction. He said, don't you, Robbie? He goes. And then Robbie's saying to him, he says, I know you're a nice guy and everything, but he said, me and you, he said, you're not my type. Oh, he's asking his auntie if she can set him up a date and stuff. Oh, and she wants it today. Strike it when it's hot. And to clean himself up and all that. And then her name's Nor, I think, or Nora, or Nor. And basically, oh, Robbie said, oh, she is a woman, isn't she? And he's like looking at him. And he's looking at Robbie. Robbie's looking at Mr. Masood and all that. Now we've got Patrick now. Back to Patrick and Ted playing a game of chess. And Bernadette's outside the actual shed, looking through the windows, telling Ted to watch it. Patrick's night. Oh, and she she's trying to put him off, trying to put Ted off by saying, oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, now he's closing the curtain just to keep her up. And Patrick, he's saying to Patrick, oh, she's putting me off. Oh, she's listening through the door now. Oh, and now she is saying, did you move the pawn then? And then Ted's saying he's worried about his winnings and stuff. And Patrick said, yeah, you should be worried. Because he said, this spot's mine. He says, checkmate. Oh, he's just literally knocked all the whole board game. He said about his knee now. He's got knee problems. And then he said, he said to Ted that he's just beaten him fair and square and all that. He said it's his war injury, Ted said. And then he goes, oh, looks like this pot's all mine. He goes, I guess now, Patrick said. And then, Ted saying to him, not on your Nelly, and they're having a little scuffle now all over the money. He said, how dare you? He goes, oh, he's knocked all the money all over the floor. And Bernadette says, all right, I'll get it. Oh, and Patrick said, no, don't worry about it. He said, just let Ted keep it. He said, I hope it makes him very, very happy. And it gives him like a disgust face. Because his name's Ted Murray. And she's just said to him, she said, you're right, Mr. Murray, how's your knee now? Then it's back to Jane now. On the phone he said, don't worry about it. So he's talking to someone. Oh, adverts a minute. There we go. 8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I can skip this one because you can skip ads and all that on you. Oh, and now Phil's just walked in. He says, oh, breaking an entry. He says, I can actually do you for this. And he says, oh, I've still got the keys, he said, but he said, I haven't got the gaff no more. But he said, it's hard for me, he says, old geezer like me to let go. But he said, if Jay went missing, he said he would be the same. He said he'd sort out the photo. And he said he's sorry and all that to him. Oh, now we've got old Ted trying to play chess, or actually trying to show her about chess to Bernadette in the shed. But I think this is the one where he's trying to cheat on her and stuff. Yeah, he's trying to play her. And he said he'll set up the game for her and stuff as long as she puts the kettle on for him. And now she says she hasn't got no lunch. And he said, oh, you want to get up early and make yourself something. So he's been all that sort of like rudeness. But I think this one where she finds out, or Bernadette finds out, that he's just sort of trying to mug her off, trying to cheat and all that. Then we got Jay saying he's saying to Phil, oh, you probably think I'm soft. He said it was his proper first girlfriend. He said it was the first girl he ever slept with. He said after the first girl he ever protected as well. He said it seemed pointless now. He said barely an adult, he said. I think he's talking about his previous girlfriend, Star, who in the episode he went with, he didn't know she was underage or something, and then he got done by the police or something. I think that was like a few years ago, but one of the episodes. And he's on about Abby as well now as well, in hospital. I know actually he's talking about Abby actually right through, saying she was only 21, so very young age. And now he's saying about Ben, he said he ain't protecting him no more, so he's just gave Ben the number to Phil so he can phone Ben up, and now he's going to talk to him on the phone. Now he's telling Ben to not phone, to put the phone down, and said to tell him where he is. Oh, he said he's coming out there. Oh, we've got Louise now back in the house. She's coming back to Sharon's house. Oh, and she's back with Mel. And she says she's going to show her the album. She said, oh, why don't you bring down the album and stuff and show us down here? Because Louise was going to take her upstairs to show her up there. But now she's looking around. She's looking a bit suspicious, like she's going to go around. And, oh, she's looking, snooping around the house. Oh, she's just found a safe. Saying it's a bit cliche, finding it behind a picture frame. Oh, saying she, right, it's back to Mr. Masood, his auntie, the uncle, and the rest of the family around the table. And that Nora, or Nor, she's sitting at the table next to him. And she looks a bit uncomfortable. And then the auntie's on about her starting a family, if you want to start a family. Now she's saying to Mr. Masood, oh no, what he does and all that for a living. But his auntie's just said he's just come back from Pakistan from selling a business or something there. And now the uncle saying about him being a husband material, very good husband material. And says he actually does a mostly Asian food he makes up, but he's working in a chip shop at the moment. A chip shop where he's doing fish and all that. But he said mostly he's doing fish and chips at the moment. And then he's trying to say to that girl he's got 4 kids, and he said that's a very good number. And Mr. Masood said he's too old now for nappies and more babies and stuff. Oh, here we go. Adverts a minute. So basically, don't want any more families no more. Said he's too old for it. Right. Yeah, for nighttime feeds, he says. And then he said, children are Allah's great gifts and stuff. So he said they're all so good. Now it's back to Ted again and Bernadette in the shed playing chess. And apparently, because he said to Bernadette before in the previous scene that she couldn't move the rook backwards, but now Ted's actually doing the opposite. He's actually moving the rook backwards, and he's trying to lie. But now he's trying to say, oh, in a checkmate situation or that about it, that he can. So now she's actually coming under the influence now, saying that she knows now he's trying to play her. And she says she knows about him lying and all that. She says she got 4 brothers. And then he's saying to her now, saying she's played a good game. She said, don't spoil it. And then, or saying to her she's a bad loser. And she said to him beforehand that he's a cheat. And she said, oh, Patrick was right, you are a cheat and all that. And now he's saying, yeah, and you're a bad loser. He said, now she's thrown all the board game over to him. And then she's saying to him now to have fun playing with himself. Oh, now he's looking a bit disappointed now. Oh, she's quickly putting the picture back on the frame, Mel, because it's back to Mel now. Because Sharon's come back walking in. Oh, and Louise says she's found the family album.
Yeah.
And she's asking Louise now, Sharon, why she ain't at school. But Mel's saying basically she bumped into her. She said it's her fault. She bumped into her and then told her that she was ill and all that to the teacher. She wanted to steal her for the day. Now Sharon's telling her to go upstairs and all that. And Louise is basically says she's not a child no more. And now she's looking a bit disappointed now, Louise. Oh, Mel's... go on. Right, so basically we're back to, Mel again. And she's saying to Sharon, don't be cross with her. Now Sharon wants to know why she's sniffing around, why Mel's sniffing around. She says she saw her a couple of weeks going back. But Mel's saying, oh, what a lovely turn of phrase she's got. Oh, and now Sharon's saying her language can get a little bit more colourful. Now Mel wants to know why she's, if she's been offended by her. Saying, oh, have I offended you in any way? She goes. But, back in a sec, guys and girls. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys and girls. So, Mel said to Sharon now, saying to her, "Oh, hasn't Phil told you? I wonder why." She goes, and Sharon wants to know, wants her to get out. She said, "You better get out of my house now." So basically, Mel is Kira's sister-in-law, apparently. She goes, "The one that your band of merry men's husband has been nicking all the money off." But she's not a very happy bunny now, apparently, Kira. And now she said, Sharon said, "Oh, I don't know what you are talking about." And so Mel said, "Oh, you better cut the crap," she said. And she said, "Oh, you're not as more of a dumb blonde as that I am," she said. But Sharon wants to know if that's a compliment. Now we've got Mr. Masood again and his auntie, that Noor. Apparently, he's saying to his auntie, "Oh, that's so lovely," he goes, "so lovely." Now his auntie is saying to that Noor, saying about a lovely homemaker that she is and all that. Oh, now we've got that little Daisy saying to that girl, saying, "Oh, do you like samosas?" She said, "Oh, Mr. Masood does that for his, likes making those for his girlfriend," so she's trying to get in trouble. Now the auntie is like saying if she wants any more chai, which is tea and all that. Now the uncle's saying to little girl to go out of the room and all that. Noor's leaving, saying, and now Mr. Masood says, "Oh, I don't have a girlfriend and all that," but she's leaving. But she says she doesn't want to leave Mr. Masood on. Obviously, he's a nice man, but she says she doesn't want children and she doesn't want to get married. Apparently, she came in only to get her mother off her back. Oh, and then he goes, "Snap," he said. He said he was only doing it to make it up to his aunt and all that. But she said why, and he said it's a long story. And then she said now to him, "Oh, so you don't want a wife?" And he goes, "No, no." He said, "I don't really," he said. "Not really." Oh, and now he's saying to her if she's up to one more cup of tea and all that, or if they want to go somewhere else. Yeah, that could be his new girlfriend soon then, by the looks of it. Alright, now it's back to Sharon and Mel. They're in the kitchen, or Mel's just turned up in the kitchen, so she just walked in. And she's saying to Sharon that, is there enough in there for me? She said, "For a cup for me," she goes. Well, glass. Oh, now Sharon's offering it to her, giving her a glass, and she goes, "Thank you," she goes. And then she said, she's saying to Mel now, Sharon, what she wants, and she just wants to know where the money is. And she said, "Join the club." And she said, because Phil's been giving his assets away, she said, where does that leave her? Where does that leave Sharon now? And then Sharon's saying to, "Oh, you grilling Louise for the information and all that." But she said, she's really annoyed because she said that's not really her kids. She said, why does she care whether they're set up or not? But she said the deal is that's her family as well, they're all family. And what she does with her, well, Phil does with his money, that's his money. She says she's got her own money. Oh, now Mel's saying now basically she's an independent woman then, so she's independent on herself. She says she's a single mother, and she said it's in her bones. But yeah, she said to Sharon now, so she's on the heist then. She said no, she wasn't in the heist, but she said how does she know about Phil in this heist then? She said, oh, they all found out about it. She says she's not even a member of the heist. And she said if it's not Phil, then she said, who is it? She said she don't know. She said it's Phil's mess, so she said ask him. But she said, Sharon says she can't help her now at all. Right, more adverts. Bloody hell, there's more adverts than anything, this. Ooh. Oh, she wants to know the combination to Phil's safe, and she said, what do you mean? She says, our safe. She said, open the safe, and she says she's a believer and all that. Ooh. Then we got back to Ted now. Coming back into the cafe, seeing Bernadette there. And Ted said, oh, you don't need to be silly and all that. He's smiling at her. And then she said, oh, that's all I am to you, silly, innit? She said, good enough to clean your spuds and dig up the spuds and all that. But not good enough to play chess. Oh, he said he's buying her 2 hot chocolates. Well, one for him and one for her. He said she's going to need something to wash the chips down. Because she's eating some chips in the cafe. Oh, and then she said, oh, you give me that book. She said, I'll be better than both of you in no time. So he's given her the book for her to read. And he said he wants to he said I could set up the chess game. He said in the cafe, he said we've got plenty of time, he goes. I like the way they transition from one scene to the next, just fantastic, and the camera angles are really spot on. Then we've got Mr. Masood now, and Noor in the Queen Victoria, talking to each other. And she said, oh, this is all about cooking samosas, she's saying to Mr. Masood. Because apparently she's a solicitor or something. And he says, oh, we can't always be solicitors, he said. She says she's 38, she's got no merits. But she said, she's like, oh, no marriage, she said. And they're all having a laugh and all that between each other. And she said it was nice, surprisingly nice to talk to him and all that. And now he's saying back to her. And now she's given her number to him. So she said if you need like a solicitor to do with samosas, marriage advice or anything, said she knows where she is to her. Like he knows where she is. And she's given him advice by telling him to come out clean and tell the truth and stuff, because she said it'd be a lot easier for him to say to the truth to his auntie. And apparently she watches Men in Black 3 or something. She did a quote from a movie or something. Now we've got back to Mel and Sharon. She's just opened the safe, oh Sharon has, just to show Mel there's nothing in it. Now Mel looks a bit disappointed. Now she's asking Sharon if she trusts Phil. And now she says, does she trust him? Mel wants to know if he's been getting the money off Aidan and taking it and trying to rob everybody else, so he can fly off at the right moment to fly off. And she said he won't want to spend his rest of his days and stuff getting sunburnt on his Todd. Saying that, and now Mel's saying that you could buy quite a few women and some suntan lotion to get the women to rub it into his back and all of that and get rid of her. Now she's saying the only way he'll be leaving, oh Phil, is in a coffin and all of that. Always saying about soulmates now. She said, oh, you're all soulmates now, are you, with Phil and all that. But she says she don't believe in fairy tales and hearts and flowers. And Mel's saying to Sharon, oh, she's like some sort of trophy award or something that Phil's won or something. She says she ain't no trophy. Now she's trying to manipulate her, basically, trying to say that, oh, Phil doesn't really care about us, just using her. She says she never fancied it. She says she never fancied being Philip Mitchell. And he said, what? My God. And then she said, oh, neither did he. And then Mel says she don't play second fiddle to a man. Yet she was going to get married to Ian Beale. Years going back until she actually didn't get married to him. She got married to that mafia bloke.
Him at the altar.
Yeah, so she could go off with Steve Owen instead. I was saying she don't. Mel doesn't trust Phil. She said, and she said you shouldn't trust him either. I was saying to Sharon she's got hidden depths. Oh, she's saying how much wonders she's doing to her ego. Oh, Sharon is saying. She said, oh, you better leave now. Oh, now Dennis is walked in now, little Dennis. Sharon's son. And Mel said, oh, you must be little Dennis. And she's saying, Dennis is saying, oh, who's she? And she's saying, Sharon's saying, oh, it's Phil's friend. Oh, so basically Sharon is telling Mel she better leave and better keep away from Dennis and all that. But they're saying they've got more in common, what they know and all that between each other. More than they know. She's saying she's got a son called Hunter. Oh, Steve Owen's son. But Ciara basically is kidnapping him. She don't want him to find out the information that Steve Owen was actually a bad man back in the days and started picking on everybody and stuff. He was a gangster. So that's why Ciara is basically not telling him at the moment, but then in a little bit later in the episodes they do. Which I will get to the next episode on, because I'm like 3 episodes behind, because tonight's episode would be episode 4 of the episodes that I need to catch up with. Oh, and then we've got Mr. Masood saying to his auntie he had to tell her the truth and all of that. To that no. Now he's saying to his auntie, he said, if we're going to get along with each other, we need to tell each other the truth and all that. Now he's back to Mel and Sharon, and she's saying to Sharon that Ciara has got her son. And Sharon said, is she going to hurt him? And she says she don't know. And saying if she's got something on her. And saying that her life hasn't been straightforward to her and all that, to Mel. She said, is that to anyone, she said? Sharon said. She said she would live happily ever after as a single woman. She said, but the only man she cannot breathe without is her son, Hunter. And she's given those sort of like the puppy dog eyes and all that to her and all that, because she wants to get the information out of her. She wants her help, basically. She's giving those like sort of sad eyes. And she said if Ciara gets the money, then she'll stop looking. But if Aidan gets it, then he's going to punish whoever took it from him. And then he'll punish the whole entire family. But she said it takes an outside eye just to notice anything. But she says she understands, and she says she does. And she says she's not a trophy wife. She says she's put up a lot with Phil, agonising with all the drink and problems he's had, and all the dodgy deals. And she says she needs to know whether she's going to be looked after or not. But she said, Phil's not going to do that. He's too busy by looking after himself. She said to screw Phil Mitchell. She said, no one does that to you, she's saying to Sharon. Now she said, no, they don't. She said, Phil took the money, Mel said. Now Sharon said she took it right under their noses, under Phil's nose. Look at the smile on Mel's face there. The smile of 1,000 words, or a picture of 1,000 words. And then it finished off this episode. Anyway, guys and girls, if you enjoy these episodes, if you're like abroad and you don't watch Eastenders and you kind of find this interesting, do like, favourite, share, comment, subscribe. I've done this nearly for an hour, about 50 odd minutes already. I'm trying to keep them around 50 minutes if I can for each episode. This is supposed to be a half an hour episode, but I try and like break down the details of each episode. That's why it takes a bit longer. But if you enjoy the episode, do like it, favourite, share, subscribe. It does help the channel and it helps it grow, and I will be producing a lot more of these review episodes. So cheers for watching, catch you all later and stay safe all.